Hey, it's Antti. Today I'm gonna try to replicate this movie poster. So let's check it out. So I decided to start a kind of a new section on my YouTube channel here where I try to replicate images or movie posters, or you can give me recommendations what I'll try to achieve these Photoshop effects or whatever. And this time I chose this cool movie poster from the movie Nun, The Nun, and let's go straight into the Photoshop and see how I would try to create this awesome look in Photoshop. So here's the original picture. So there's a face of a nun and there's kind of a paper cut, a torn burning paper between, and some kind of a glowing amber. Then kind of a scary looking face, kind of on the darker image on top. And then some copy. So I'm not concentrating on the copy, I'm trying to concentrate on the image itself, how I would try to create this kind of look. And I started kind of look through the images that I would need for this. So let's start putting things together. So first, so I'm using Adobe stock in this, so let's see how it turns out. I found a picture of a nun here, so we can use that here. So this will definitely work in this. So let's check it out if it's... We use some kind of a slightly the same sized image on there. So there we have our nun. Actually, I think I'll go ahead and license that image straight away because I definitely need that. So in Photoshop, when I'm searching the images from Adobe stock, I'm just going straight to license the images afterwards. Like that, so the logo disappears after that. So the next up, what we need to do, I'm just gonna put this one on top of, so we can kind of browse through. So we need to make this kind of a cut between the darker side and the lighter side, so we need to do that next. So what we need next is this burned paper picture. I already kind of licensed it with what we would need, and so I'll just put it in the picture, and then I'm gonna put it in blending mode, multiply, so all the whites will disappear. I will start checking out how I would angle it. I think I'll flip it like this side and try to find how it would go around the eye as it was in a way in the picture. So that will give kind of a burned edge. So I have to go around this eye and then also under that eye to kind of make the same kind of a look. Maybe something along like that. I can actually warp it slightly from here to kind of go around here and maybe under the eye, and just bring this closer to get that kind of burned look into that. I think that might be okay. So I need to make a duplicate also from this image, so I will have the top part kind of a dark black and totally different as it was in this picture. So now I'm gonna select the burnt paper, and I'm gonna only select the top part here. I will just extend with the Shift and Marquee tool the selection to cover the whole top part, and then on this top layer I'm going to make a mask like that. So now I'm left with the top part here and that under there. So now I can modify this upper part separately. So what we need to do for the top part now, we need to make it like totally dark. But before that, maybe I will redefine this part also. So as you can see, it was like all white here, it doesn't show the shoulders all the way through. So maybe I will do that first. I will start painting this lower part. Just maybe do a white. Let's do a blank layer on top of that. D to make it black and white, and X to change that. Then can go to the brush, and then I'm starting to paint white with a low opacity just to get this to look kind of the same it was. So I don't need all these bits and pieces that was in the picture, so I'll just paint over some white. Get rid of the most of the something like that. So you'll see kind of the only the bits and pieces, the same way as in here. Okay, that's about it. And then what we need to do is to start modifying the top part of the image. So here we have the top part. So first, definitely we need to saturate it. Command U, and let's desaturate it all the way through. Since it's a smart object, I can kind of modify this also later. Then definitely levels. This is what I need to do, definitely. So I need to push a lot of more darker shades in the image like this, but also get a bit more contrasty on this side. So something, and even push slightly more from here. So, well, something like this. So let's check it out. Okay, getting kind of a closer, but the same thing that I need to get rid of most of these sides, so make it really black. So again, I'm choosing this layer, blank layer on top of that, and then I'm gonna paint, but I need to clip it only to affect this layer. I'll click between. So now I'm just painting black to kind of get this, get only the edges of that hat there. I think I need to put a bit more white in that too, in that place right there. Okay, so there we have getting closer. I'm gonna do the saturations and color grading a bit later on, but we're getting in a way the look. One thing that there was in the picture that you can see, it looks like almost like a skull, and then the other eye is green, telling that it's another person in a way. So let's do that now. So I have a selection here, I have a picture of a skull. Let's bring it on top of this over here, and then I'm gonna just clip it to affect only the top part, and then I'm gonna put it in, I think the multiply will work, and then I'm gonna scale it kind of only the eye, trying to find where it, because I need that darker area into the eyes, like there's a hole in it. But leaving kind of a cool texture also in the forehead, looks like a totally different person in that sense. I think I need to lift it slightly up. Well, maybe around there. And I'm gonna put a mask, and then only get this area masking for that. So now I have that kind of a hole in the eye thing going on over there. Alrighty, we're gonna do the color grading slightly. We can actually desaturate this also, this layer. So what else? We need that green eye. So let's choose this picture. I'm gonna license that too. So the watermark will disappear. Okay. So I'm kind of roughly doing the selection of the eye here. And Command J, just making that eye. So what I need to kind of is to try to match the size. So that will be close enough, and then I'm gonna put it on the other side over here. And I think I need to flip it just to get the light almost from the same direction. So I'm gonna put a mask into that, and then I'm gonna just mask out the excess stuff that I don't need, just to make it kind of a look that it's kind of way up there, deep in that hole. I think that's, I need to kind of stretch out slightly of the skull. Hold on, because I think I need it to come slightly lower here and also lift it up. Like that. And then I need to also, here's the eye, and I'm gonna just fade it slightly from here. And then I need to not, it has to, I'm gonna make an adjustment layer, hue saturation slightly down, clip it only to affect that layer. So I'm just putting that and making it slightly not that visible. Maybe also a bit of levels, just to get slightly darker, like that. Alrighty, getting in closer. So what we do next? I think we need to make that burning thing. So I have already selected this kind of a burning and license that, and I'm trying to align that now also with the image. I'm bringing that image there, and then I'm putting in screen mode. So let's check the original image again. So it's right under the eye, and then in some corners also. So let's see where it should be actually. I'm going to bring this all the way top of everything, and maybe I'll flip it around, and then I'm gonna aim it right under the eye here. So here's a good place for that. And I could actually do Command T. Actually, if I rasterize that layer, I'm able to bend it with Puppet Warp. So I'm just making a few points in here so I can bend it from right places. So I need to bend the whole thing from here. It's easier to bend it with the poppet wrap also to get all these in the right places. So a bit of warping and bending these to get to the shape that I was using. Something like that, and I'm gonna turn that corner also to be here. Like that, maybe that a bit of higher. Okay, so then let's do a bit of a masking. Like that, and then this has to go away, maybe that part over there. So there's the first part. Maybe I'll just duplicate that and then put it also here into the corner. I'm just kind of do a bit of a rotation and may put it over there to glow. And again, I'm just doing a bit of a masking. Like there, and maybe one here. I'm gonna duplicate that again, and then just rotating it to get that glow also in there. Something like that. One thing that I have to do also is to grade. As you can see from the real picture, these are also really warmish tones. So I'm just gonna go and choose my paper cut. It's burnt paper and Command U. And I think I'll just use colorize, push the saturation up and just try to find that orangey look in that. I think that's good enough. So I think I'm getting closer. The only thing that I think I need to do anymore is just to color grade these. Let's see, it was kind of more on the bluish side. Yes, so let's choose that skull and mouth and this layer especially. And we will do a hue saturation and we'll colorize that and we'll push more on the blue side, but then we drop the saturation, so we'll get a bit of that bluish tone into that. Okay, so we're getting kind of a closer. I think that the face of us also slightly more reddish, not this orange or. So we can see, yes, it's kind of a more red. So we can choose our main woman, hue saturation, maybe select the reds. No, actually we choose the yellows and push them to be more on the red side and maybe lift the saturation up. Like that. So we'll get it more kind of a yellowish. So we can do some small tweaks there and there, but the overall kind of the idea behind the image, I think that's about it. I would do definitely some fixing in Lightroom, but we can actually do it. So I would make a stamp visible, and we go filter and camera raw. Definitely push some clarity into the picture, drop the highlights down, even the whites slightly down. Even more bit of the clarity, so I need to also fix these. And maybe I will add some noise into that picture, so we can usually movie posters have a good rough noise in them. So giving that bit of a texture here too. So as I press OK, and maybe I'll just crop it now. Like that. So there we have the picture almost. Of course it's not identical, but I think it's close enough. As you can see, starting from that to my version, bit of a difference in the colors. But here you learned quite many techniques you can use in your pictures, and be sure to use Adobe stock images. It's easy to use them and easy to license the images after you have done all the composite layouts. And I don't know, hopefully you like this kind of a format where I try to imitate some kind of a retouching technique or some kind of a look or something like that. But if you see from this image, so I turned into this, I think they are in the same realm. Of course I could tweak and make everything more precise, but here you can see all the kind of needed techniques. You only needed 5 different stock images for this to make it happen. It's your creativity and how to use them. And well, definitely if you like these kind of videos, put a thumbs up, subscribe and comment. Give me ideas what kind of images I should try to replicate, what kind of look you want to. Movie posters, so I will try to pick up best ideas and try to replicate those ideas. So this was the first try of these replicating images kind of a thing, and hopefully you liked it, and I will be seeing you on my next video. Cheers!